Okay. Mm. If I could characterize Asteroid City with one sentence, I would say blah 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 blah. This is what I think about this film. Welcome back to my channel, Salome here. Today's video is a spicy one and it involves my critical thoughts about Wes Anderson's film Asteroid City. So if you are someone who is triggered by independent critical opinions, and if you absolutely love Wes Anderson and take personally whatever critical opinion one has to offer, I think you should skip this video. But those of you who are open-minded and also can tolerate some triggers and can live with different opinions or may even agree with me, this video is for you. Let's chat about Asteroid City. Well, first of all, I have to say that I have a huge respect towards any filmmakers because I'm in filmmaking industry. It is very, very difficult to make a decent film, but I also think that we have the freedom to like whatever we like and to dislike whatever we dislike. So in my videos you will find films that I adore and you will find films that I really don't like. But this doesn't mean that these films are good or bad. These are just my opinion, and since I love talking about films, I think that I'm entitled as a viewer to express my opinion. Now about the author. I have to admit that Wes Anderson was never my director. My heart just doesn't go to his films, and I often feel that with Wes Anderson, if I saw one film, I have seen all of his films. And unfortunately, he keeps proving my point because I have seen Moonrise Kingdom, which I liked. I have seen the Darjeeling Express, which also was okay, but everything, even Grand Budapest is fine, but everything after that, especially late films, French Dispatch and now Asteroid City, is like, oh my god, Wes Anderson, stop making Instagram films. For me, these films are just aesthetically pleasing images, and I do appreciate the choreography, aesthetics. Don't get me wrong, it's not that I'm blind. I feel how inviting his pictures and his cinematography is, but here is what my problem is with Wes Anderson. For me, Wes Anderson is like a huge, mesmerizingly beautiful, aesthetically pleasing candy. But when you buy it and you taste it, it doesn't taste good. So for me, Wes Anderson's films are all about external, facadal images, and they don't turn into film. I would love to see Wes Anderson taking more visual projects like maybe photography, narration, or he could really manage, I think, the biggest Instagram account ever, because there is even Wes Anderson filter, and there are books dedicated to Wes Anderson's aesthetic, and I get that, but the film is so much more than just aesthetically pleasing images. Film images, moving images only turn into something transcendental when there is huge reflection and heart and soul involved. So no matter how good your eye or visual thinking is, if you don't put the soul into your films, they fail to be films. They are just facadal images. So to me, Wes Anderson's film is more like a mannequin like a doll and more of a skeleton without soul and body of a human being. So externally, a robot and a mannequin looks like human, right? Visually, sometimes, wax figures at Madame Tussauds Museum look very human-like, but there is no soul, and of course, they are not human. So for me, Wes Anderson films give me the same type of impression. I feel that so much could be done here, and yet there is no substance. It is just all mess about nothing, essentially. Uh, Especially when I view the cast: Bryan Cranston, um, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, Margot Robbie, the goddess, and so many more. Jason Schwartzman. I love them. Even in this film, they do what they are asked to do, but for me, even they become puppets. Maybe they are intended to be puppet-like-ish because everything is so choreographed, camera movement is different, but still, for me, this film has no sensation. Even though I was watching very attentively, because this film has like layers of stories, my mind was bursting, and all the time I was thinking, oh my god, what is this film about? Oh my god, what is this film about? What is this film about? And there is a tendency of contemporary filmmakers to go to some periods and phases of life, especially American filmmakers. And here Wes Anderson travels to 50s and he makes these periodic films. But once again, if you don't have fascination, or if you don't have this passion put into your film, it doesn't matter what period are you making the film about. A good periodic film that I admire and I was really shocked to see is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino. And bear in mind, I don't even like Quentin Tarantino. For me, he's like a genre filmmaker, but this film was him thinking outside of his box. And that film, casting Margot Robbie as well, for me is a good example versus Asteroid City. And that film is also fabricated, constructed, but Quentin Tarantino succeeded to do there what Wes Anderson could not do here. There is no logic, there is no, rationalized arguments that I can put into words. It's just, it doesn't feel right. When I watch Asteroid City, I always think, so much resources, such big talent, such good camera, colors, and all for what? To fabricate something that you've already done with French Dispatch and Grand Budapest, and I don't know, man. It is just such a waste of resource to me. Of course, what's done is done. This is a film now, and I know that Wes Anderson has a huge fan base, but I just really have this question to these fans, like, what attracts you to Wes Anderson? What do you find interesting? This, I genuinely would like to speak to Wes Anderson movie fans because of curiosity. Not that I want to prove my opinion, of course not. I feel the way I feel. There is nothing to prove, These are feelings. These are not some, science provements or things like that. But, yeah. And the other thing I wanted to tell you is that the fact that I don't like Wes Anderson doesn't mean that uh, I by default and I had a huge predisposition that wouldn't like this film, because I often watch filmmakers that I don't usually like with more enthusiasm, because I always am interested what are they doing next, and sometimes they surprise me in the best way. For example, Quentin Tarantino with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Anyway, guys, I would love to hear your opinions about Wes Anderson's Asteroid City. And in the end, I just want to say, God help us from next film of Wes Anderson if it is like Asteroid City. Leave comment down below, and no hate comments. Thanks so much. Have a great day.